Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Whittle, and this is The Firewall. Well, as you may recall, a few months ago, President Barack Obama accomplished something with the stroke of his pen that had been deemed well beyond what he himself was beyond his authority as chief executive, namely, grant amnesty to millions of illegal aliens through executive order. So let's just get down to the brass tacks here on illegal immigration. Now, to do that, let's look at two recent statements, one on the part of an active immigration official in the U.S. government, and a second from the candidate for the highest law enforcement position in the land. So we'll start with Kevin Landy, Assistant Director of the Office of Detention Policy and Planning for ICE, that's the Immigration and Customs Enforcement branch of the federal government, discussing here treatment options for transgendered illegal aliens once they're in U.S. detention facilities.
With respect to treatment while in detention, the medical care standard of the detention standards guarantees a right to hormone therapy for individuals who need it for treatment.
Look, there are two important words buried in that bland bureaucratic response. One of them is especially important, so let's just listen again to that one sentence.
Guarantees a right to hormone therapy.
The first word is guarantees. In other words, makes a binding promise. The second word, the really important one, is the word right. A right is something that cannot be taken away from you. Calling it a right means that someone has to provide it for you if you can't provide it for yourself. This official of the U.S. government, Kevin Landy, has just stated that if you break U.S. law by illegally entering the country, then the citizens of the country whose laws you've just violated are legally obligated to provide you with the hormone therapy necessary to your choice of lifestyle. And now, from the ridiculous to the sublime, because here's Loretta Lynch, President Barack Obama's nominee to replace disgraced Attorney General Eric Holder, being questioned by Republican Senator Jeff Sessions of Alabama.
Who has more right to a job in this country? A lawful immigrant who's here, a green card holder, or a citizen, or a person who entered the country unlawfully?
Well, Senator, I believe that the right and the obligation to work is one that's shared by everyone in this country, regardless of how they came here. And certainly if someone is here, regardless of status, I would prefer that they be participating in the workplace than not participating in the workplace.
The candidate for the highest law enforcement official in the land has just stated that people who are here illegally have an equal right to the same job as people who are either U.S. citizens or legal immigrants here on work visas. So now to the brass tacks. First, if there are no such things as illegal aliens as the advocates for open borders proclaim, then where does it stop? If 7 million people can sneak across the border at night and be granted the same status and the same benefits as U.S. citizens, Social Security, Medicare, they're talking about the right to vote, then where do we stop? Why only 7 million? Why not all 7 billion people currently on planet Earth? Because if 320 million Americans are having money taken from them at gunpoint through taxation in order to guarantee the right of one transgendered illegal alien to hormone therapy once they cross the border, then there is no line, none between that and them having to pay through their hard work and taxes the health care of any one of the 7 billion people on planet Earth who can manage to cross a 2,000-mile-long line on a map. And second, if the candidate for the chief law enforcement position in the land says that someone entering the country by breaking the law is not only not going to be arrested and deported, but rather has the same right to take a job from a U.S. citizen or a legal immigrant on a work visa, and thereby condemning those people to unemployment and dependency on the government, then what does that tell you about the person who nominated her to that office in the first place? And what does it say about his contempt for the people that elected him? And what does it ultimately say about those people themselves? This man, who says there comes a point when people have made enough money, who says that the people who pay the taxes for hormone therapy for illegal transgendered criminals didn't build the businesses that write the checks that maintain his loving and generous reputation, is, as you may know by now, an avid golfer. The man who condemns rich fat cats with private jets flies in the biggest private jet in the whole wide world to the finest resorts in the whole wide world, and he does it all the time. Why? Because he likes it. Who wouldn't? Does anyone actually think that this individual is capable of that kind of lifestyle without spending one person's money to buy the vote of another's? And does anyone still doubt that any of these incompetents and losers are willing to not only destroy the laws of the nation, but the nation itself, in order to sate the lust for the money and power that they are incapable of obtaining through their own efforts? Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and be sure to visit us at truthrevolt.org. And to keep these messages coming, please consider making a donation by clicking here.